Hey everyone, welcome back to Therapist Uncorked. As always, I am a therapist, but I'm not your therapist. So if you are in crisis or in need of mental health services, it's not me in this podcast. Please call 911. Please call or text 988 if you need a little help. Because listen, I'm a good therapist, but I'm not yours. So do with that what you will. Today's episode I'm really excited about. I'm going to be talking about kind of like my journey as a therapist and some of the lessons that I've learned along the way. Because to be totally honest with you, half of the job is learning as you go. And I know I've mentioned that before as far as like grad school doesn't teach you anything, like it does. But a lot of it is just kind of like the on-the-job stuff. And it's both the actual like therapeutic, clinical type lessons and stuff, but also just like what you learn about yourself as a human being along the way. So I'm really excited to share. So first and foremost, and this is one that I have really had to work on like both throughout grad school, internship, practicum, and now just like in my normal practice, is you need to check your fucking ego at the door. And like, I don't think I have like a big ego. I mean, I have an ego because who doesn't? But like, I don't really think I'm this super like conceited person. Like I'm actually pretty like insecure about a lot of things, especially in my work. There's some things I am confident in, but like as a therapist, you have to like just get over yourself. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but like clients can be brutally honest sometimes, even if they're not trying to be, but like when they offer feedback and stuff. Like one time I had a client, we were a few sessions in, great client, like lovely human, love them. And they were like, hey, they were super nice about it, but they were like, hey, I'm just wondering if we'd be able to kind of like really hone in on like one topic per session. Because in my brain, and I'm saying this about me now, like I am saying this, like in my brain, I can make a lot of connections from like different topics and kind of bring them all together. But for this client's brain, that's not how it worked. And so their feedback was like, hey, can we stick to one thing? And I'm like, yep, totally, like completely makes sense. But then like after session, and I'm so glad the client said that, like they did nothing wrong. I'm actually really glad that they said that because that's what they needed. And I love that they advocated for themselves. But then for me, like as a human being, after that session, I had to like reflect for a minute, not even reflect, but just like kind of like, I don't know, like sit with that discomfort because I felt so bad at first. I'm like, oh my God, like immediately the imposter syndrome came up and I'm like, oh my God, like my ADHD is just like too much for them. And like, they probably think I'm a bad therapist because I jump around sometimes. And like, I started just like fucking spiraling. And then I'm like, dude, no, it's not that fucking serious. It's really not that serious. Like this client needs more kind of, what's the word? Like, just more focused sessions. Maybe let's put it that way. Like they need to just kind of like lock in on one thing and stick with it, which is great. And other clients like me jumping around more and like connecting different things. So it's just one of those things where it's like, I did have to check my ego because I'm like, okay, well, that's who I am. I didn't say this to the client. I was just like, yes, absolutely. Like, thank you for the feedback because I do appreciate feedback. But it was just really hard for me, like as a human to be like, oh, fuck, like they don't necessarily like jive with the way that my brain naturally works. So that was really hard for me. And that was just an example of like when I had to check my ego and be like, it's not about you, it's about the client. And that's, of course, like, duh, therapy is about the client. But like, I don't know, there's just certain times where it's a little harder to like, kind of like, I don't want to say like shut down parts of yourself because that's not what I'm saying. I just have to like maybe quiet parts of myself in order to like best serve the client because the client is who matters here. So things like that are just, it's kind of hard sometimes, and clients really do challenge you too. And something that we say a lot in the therapy world is like clients are holding up a mirror to us. Like sometimes clients will say something and it'll like totally hit for you in your personal life of like, oh my God, yeah, I totally get it. Or like, you're so fucking like inaccurate with that, or whatever it is. Like clients really have a way of calling you on your shit, even if they don't mean to, like even if they have no idea that like what they just said like directly applies to your life. Like they really have a way of like, I don't know, it's this weird like sixth sense I feel like clients have. It sounded like I said sick. I meant sixth. That word is very hard for me to say. Sixth. See, I can't. Sixth sense. Jesus Christ, that was hard for me. So anyway, all of that to say, to be a therapist, you got to get over yourself. And you got to be able to admit like, yep, yeah, that you're right. Like clients are, and they're not always right, obviously, but like sometimes they're going to give you feedback that you don't agree with, and that doesn't mean that you have to necessarily like go with it, but like you have to listen to it and you have to respect it. And I have gotten feedback from clients before that I'm like, first of all, no, like that is not appropriate, or not like inappropriate, just like not clinically appropriate, I mean. And so like sometimes like feedback that clients offer, I'm like, no, like thank you. And I don't say it like that, like no, but like thank you for the feedback. I'll keep that in mind. But then I don't necessarily like implement it, because sometimes it's either not clinically appropriate, or it's just completely like it's a protective thing, like on their end, kind of like a subconscious protective thing, so that they don't have to like go certain places in their mind, whatever it is. So like, I don't know, all of that to say is like, as a therapist, you kind of just have to like get the fuck over yourself sometimes. And it's hard, but it's also really helpful because it's a great opportunity for growth, both like as a clinician, but then also as a human, because like in your own life, it's good to check your ego. It's good to, you know, kind of like get over yourself sometimes. So it's helpful, but it's also really hard sometimes. Another thing, wow, that was a big breath. See, I notice I do this is like when I get really excited about something, and I'm also recording this episode at like 8 a.m., like 8:30 in the morning, because my 8 a.m. no-showed. So like my Adderall is freshly in my system, so I can actually focus right now. So that's probably why I'm talking more and can't breathe, because I'm talking so much. So you're really just getting the best of me here. Like you are getting the fresh ADHD medication, and just fresh, ready to take on the day. So I don't know if that's a good thing, a bad thing. I don't know. I feel great because my brain can actually focus right now, but it might be overwhelming for people. I don't know. If it's overwhelming, shut off the podcast. You don't have to listen to it, okay? Like I feel like I need to remember that. Like this is all optional. You do not need to fucking listen to this if you want to. So if you don't want to, you're rude and I hate you. But if you're still here, thank you. I appreciate you. The next lesson that I've had to learn, Jesus, I am on one today. The next lesson that I've learned along the way is everyone has a story. And I know that's so cheesy, and like logically we all know that, but like even people that you might meet in your day-to-day life and be like, oh my God, you know, like they have their life together, like everything must be great. No, like everyone has their shit. And of course, like some people have more shit than others, and some people really are doing really great. And like that's all awesome. But like everyone has something. And I feel like it's so important to remember that. And I'm even guilty of this, where like I'll be like, oh my God, like in my like day-to-day life with like my, not clients, but just like my people, you know, sometimes I'm like, why are you fucking complaining? Like you have it so good. And like, do you have it better than others? Sure. But also like everyone has their stuff. And I feel like once we like give people more grace, and I'm a hypocrite because like I got to work on this too, but like once we give people grace and remember like everyone is going through something, it just, I don't know, I feel like that's just the best way to create more empathy and just like understanding. Like not everything has to be such a thing. And I don't know, I just feel like that's important. And even if the thing that they're going through right now is that they have diarrhea and their tummy hurts, like that sucks. I'm sorry. And like, listen, the health stuff I've been dealing with lately, that has been the case for me. So like I have a lot of empathy for that right now. But okay, that was probably TMI. But you know what? For me, TMI does not mean too much information. It means tell me immediately. So we're going to go with that. So listen, everyone has a story. Like just give people grace. And again, we all need to work on that, myself included. But I think it's something that's really important for people to remember and like really pay attention to and be intentional about. And kind of in the same vein of like everyone does have their own shit is another lesson I've learned is normal isn't real. Normal does not exist. Like I know a lot of times when we use the word normal, we kind of just use it in like a flippant way. Like it's kind of just a word that we throw out and whatever. But like, you know, sometimes because, you know, like every family has their stuff. Like my family's got their stuff, you know, and I don't have like a terrible family, but like, you know, like we've got our shit. And okay, I made it sound bad. Like I have a good family. It's just, you know, every family has their shit. And sometimes I'll like talk to, you know, my friends or my mom or whoever, my husband, and I'll be like, God, I wish my family was more normal, you know? And then I'm like, what the fuck is normal, honestly? Like even like the most normal looking families have their shit, you know? So again, everyone has a story. Like, normal does not exist. And you can look at, like, even just like a singular person, not even like families or friend groups. You can just look at a person and be like, oh my God, they're so normal. No, they're probably fucking weird, because everyone's fucking weird and everyone's nerdy in their own way. Like, everyone is weird. Normal is not real. And again, I know I just burped. I'm so sorry. I don't know why I didn't like pause while that happened. I'm so sorry. I'm embarrassed. I could have just like glossed by it and not said anything. Or really, I could like cut it out and like just edit it out of the podcast. But like, I feel like that's not authentic. So I'm very sorry that you just had to hear me burp. But you know what? It happened. It kind of just came out. I didn't even mean to. I'm so embarrassed. Okay, the more I talk about it, the more I give attention to it. So let's move on. But yeah, normal is not real. And if you tell yourself that normal exists, you're wrong, because it doesn't. So why do we continue to like idealize this like normal life or whatever? Like, no. What do you mean when you say normal? Do you mean more calm? Do you mean more successful? What does successful mean to you? Like, what does normal mean? And that was a very like therapist-y thing. What does success mean to you? But like, normal isn't real, so stop fucking acting like it is. And kind of in the same vein of that as well, the grass isn't always greener on the other side. That's a big lesson I've learned, where I've had some clients come in, and if I were to like know them out in the normal world, like if they were to be someone I work with, I'd be like, wow, you know, like your life is fucking awesome. And like, is it better than mine? Absolutely. Like, for sure, in certain ways. But also like, they're coming to me for therapy. Even though their life looks great on the outside, they still got their shit. Like, the grass is not always greener. Is it sometimes greener? Absolutely. But like, the grass is greener where you water it. And I know that's so cheesy, and I feel like that's a line from a song that like all of us millennials know. I can't remember what it is, but I know it's a line from a song. But like, there is beauty in everything and there is shit in everything. So we just get to, okay, there's a lot of privilege in me saying this, but like, we have to decide where we water our grass. You know, like, if I am super upset about something and I continue to like put energy into it, that it's going to become bigger, because that's how it works. But if I'm upset about something and I choose to put my energy elsewhere, wherever else I'm putting my energy is going to become better. So like, maybe not better, but like bigger. Like, we get to decide where we put our energy, where we put our attention. And like, that is a lot of pressure, but also like, what a fucking gift. Like, you have the ability to decide what you pay attention to and what you give parts of yourself to. And like, that's, I mean, there's a lot of nuance to that, but I feel like that's an important lesson that I've had to learn, both just like throughout my life in general, but also as a therapist. Like, we put so much time, even if we don't intend to, we put so much time into just like thinking about shit all day long. Just like, we as humans, not even just me, like just humans, we think about shit all day long. So like, be intentional with where you put your attention, where you put your energy, because that's where things are going to grow, good or bad. Like, if I'm sitting here and being like, oh my God, I am the worst therapist ever, I suck, I'm going to continue to feel like shit about myself. And like, do I do that sometimes? Absolutely, because I'm a human. But also, okay, maybe I can use that, like, oh my God, I suck, and let me put my attention on finding trainings, on consulting with colleagues. Like, there's so many things you can do to utilize that energy in a way that just makes more sense and is more productive. Not that we always have to be productive, but like, we get to choose. We have the power here. And that is such a gift, because a lot of times in life we don't have power, we don't have control, because that's just kind of the nature of the beast in being an adult. But like, in certain ways you have control, so take advantage of it. And I feel like a lot of these that someone is calling me. Who is calling me? I don't know what that is. Okay, so I have an iPhone, and then my husband got me a Mac, like a computer, obviously a Mac is a computer, for our anniversary last year, which is like, seriously, like, I'm obsessed. I love it. But like, it's been a huge adjustment for me before, because I've never had like a Mac before. And for those of you that don't know, although most people probably do, I'm just dumb because I didn't know this before, but like, if you have an iPhone and a Mac, like, any calls that you get on your phone will like show up on your computer, which is super helpful. But then when I'm like doing stuff, like right now when I'm like recording an episode, or like if I'm on telehealth, it'll like pop up on my computer, and I'm like, well, that's distracting. I mean, I'm sure there's a way to shut it off, but I don't know how, and I also don't care enough to look into it. But it's just something that like, I forget. Like, I'm like, oh, I gotta shut that off, and then I get distracted and then I never do, and then it bugs me again the next time. But it's also nice though when I have like a text come through and I'm like, oh nice, now I can like type on my computer to text back, and that's so fun because I love typing and I feel like I'm pretty good at it, which I feel like most people probably are, but I'm just going to pretend it's this cool flex that I have that like no one else has because it makes me feel good about myself. Anyway, moving on. I still don't know who called me because it didn't have a caller ID, so I don't know. Maybe I'm being asked to be the president of the United States. I mean, if you listen to that one episode where I talked about what I would do if I were president, I should be called to be president of the United States because Diet Coke would be free. I mean, are you kidding me? Like, who wouldn't want that? So I feel like whoever called me should be the president, but it was a 651 number, which is the area code that I live in, so I doubt it's the president because I live in Minnesota, but I don't know. Do with that what you will. Another lesson that I feel like is very important is it has to come from within. And what I mean by that is like, whether it's healing or really anything, like it has to come from you. And like, I know an example that a lot of people use is like those that are struggling with addiction. Like if you're someone that's close to them. So let's say I have a sibling, which to be very clear, like I don't have a sibling that struggles with addiction. I'm just using it as an example. So if my brother's listening, doubt he is, but if he is, I'm not saying you have addiction problems, but like, let's say I have a sibling that has addiction problems and I am sitting here and I'm like, oh my God, okay, let's get you into rehab. Let's, like do all these things. Let's get you into therapy, blah, blah, blah. Great. And like, they might listen to you, probably not, but like they might, right? But if you like push someone to do these things, could they get something out of it? Sure. But they likely will not get as much out of whatever it is that they're doing unless it comes from them, unless they're the ones that are ready to make a change, because you can't force anything on anyone. And sometimes that will work. Okay. Like sometimes, but in my experience, both personally and professionally, I've really learned that like it does have to come from within the individual that is looking to make a change. Otherwise, it's either not going to make a change at all, or it's not going to be lasting change. And like, why would we want to make a change if it's not going to last? I mean, it could be helpful. I don't know. But yeah, so I feel like that's one of the biggest ones, honestly, that I've learned is like growth, change, healing, whatever it is. Like it has to come from within, because forcing it is just, it's not it. It just doesn't make sense. And it's not going to be sustainable in the long term. Another lesson I've learned that I was actually just talking about recently with a friend and then also a lot of clients. I'm yawning, I'm sorry. Jesus Christ. My bodily functions are really doing things. And again, I really could just, pause and yawn and then come back, or I could edit out the yawning later. But first of all, I think it's kind of funny. I think everything's fun. I think I'm so funny. I think I'm fucking hilarious. I doubt that I actually am, but I really think I am. Anyway, so another lesson that I've learned is to find your people and just love them so hard. And I know that's so cheesy, and I feel like a lot of the lessons that I'm talking about are really cheesy, but they're cliche because they're true. And I think that just like finding your people and just pouring yourself into them is so important. And I mean that whether it's family, friends, or I was talking about it recently in the context of like being a therapist. So for me, like when I first started, I always wanted to work with trauma. Like I knew that for sure, but that's really broad. And like I also will work with clients dealing with like depression, anxiety, ADHD, whatever it is. And that's a lot. And that's very like general and broad. And that's great. But my supervisor, once I started, she was like, and she says this to everyone, I believe. She says like, narrow it down and kind of like find your niche, like find your thing and then lean into it. And for me, it was really scary at first, especially because this, like, of course I was a therapist in like practicum and internship, but this practice that I'm at now, I've been here for a couple of years, but this is my first like big girl therapist job. So this is my first thing where like I do have a lot more control over like who I see, what I work with, all of that. And I was so like, she wasn't like pushy, like you have to do this, but like she just really encouraged like to lean in and find something that just like really, it's your jam. And I was really scared at first because I'm like, I don't want to pigeonhole myself. Like I don't want to say I don't work with XYZ population, and then like, okay, now I just like don't get clients, like, because A, that would suck financially because I only get paid per client that I see, but B, like, I want to make sure that people get the help they need. And so at first I was really scared. Like, for example, I'm sure I've mentioned this before, but like, I will not work with people dealing with eating disorders. It's just too triggering for me. I can't. But then I'm like, oh my God, okay, so if I don't see people with eating disorders, is that going to like minimize the amount of people I see? And I mean, I'm sure that's probably happened, but like, I've really kind of found my niche. And I feel like I have multiple niches, I guess, but like, yes, I do trauma work, absolutely, but I do a lot of work with those with ADHD and autism. But then I also, like I've said, I do a lot of work with teens. And kind of like narrowing in on that has been really rewarding, and it's really paid off for me because now like I have a full caseload. Like I very often do not have any openings. Like all summer, I have been nearly fully booked every week, like maybe a couple of openings here and there, you know, or like, of course there's cancellations and stuff, but like typically I believe I have 31 slots available. I think like 30, somewhere around 30. And like I'm usually seeing at least like 25 people a week, which doesn't sound like a lot if you're not a therapist, but like that's like about average. So it's better than it sounds. Like 25 doesn't sound like a lot, but it is a lot. And I am so grateful that my supervisor kind of like, I keep wanting to say pushed, but like she didn't push. She like, again, encouraged me to kind of like find my thing and just like jump in. And that was really scary, but it's really rewarding. And I think that just goes to show that like finding your people and in any context and just like really putting yourself out there and just like having the courage to just like trust in yourself and know that like, hey, this is me and that's enough. Like for me, like I said, I don't work with people with eating disorders and that's okay. Like I don't have to fit into this box just to check off something on a list or just to feel like, oh, I should allow clients with eating disorders to see me, you know, just because I feel like I should. No. Like who I am is enough as a person, as a provider, and that's fine. And like my people will find me and I will find them. And I feel like it's so important to just remember that like you do not have to be a certain type of person, professional, friend, colleague, family member. You don't have to be a certain type of way in order for people to love you. And if people don't love that, like, hey, if there's a client that has an eating disorder that wants to see me, I appreciate you so much, but that's not me. And that's okay. And you will find someone that person is for you. You know what I mean? Like they will find a provider that works with eating disorders, maybe primarily, and maybe that's their thing, and maybe they will thrive in that, but like it's not me, and that's okay. Like my mom always says there's a lid for every pot. Like there's something for everyone. And I think once we give ourselves permission to just kind of like be who we are and not apologize for it, I think it really makes a difference, not only for other people, like in kind of who you attract, but it just makes such a difference for you as like a human. Like you don't have to be a certain way in order to be loved and valuable and appreciated. And once I'm so thankful that my supervisor encouraged me to do that, to kind of like lean in on a certain niche at work, because that really taught me obviously at work to do that. But then like in my life, I'm like, okay, if I am like friends with someone and it's maybe just not really the vibe anymore, like that sucks, you know, like that fucking sucks, but also it's okay. Like sometimes certain people are just for certain seasons of life, and like that does suck because it is ambiguous loss, you know, when you lose a friend or you lose, and I do plan to circle back to ambiguous loss because I think that's a really important topic. So we will come back to that on a different day. But I don't know, this was a very long way to say, like, find your people or let your people find you and just lean into it, love them and love them hard, because the more that we are authentic to ourselves, the more that we're able to like attract people that are just our people. You know what I mean? Like you can be friends with someone and they're great, but if you're not like your 100% authentic self, like is it long-term worth it? I don't know. And maybe that's just my perspective, and like I know that's not it for everyone, but like I don't know. This is my podcast, so I'm going to share my perspective, I guess. So find your people and love them hard. I have a friend that used to say, be who you are and be that well. And I loved that. That's actually my email signature now at work because I just love it. I even like embroidered that on a sweatshirt. I should find that sweatshirt. It's very cute. Also, I love embroidering because I'm like 100 years old. But honestly, it's fun to like make little crafts and it's really cute. But yeah, I love that quote. Not find your people. Jesus Christ, that's what I just said. No, her quote that she would always say is, be who you are and be that well. And I love it. It's kind of the same thing. Like, be who you are and own it. Like, you don't have to feel bad or you don't have to apologize for it. Like, you are who you are and who you are is great. And are there certain parts of you that are not great? Sure, everyone's got their shit. Like, I swear a lot. That's maybe not the best thing. But also, like, I swear a lot. I am who I am. I mean, I read the room. Like, I'm not going to say fuck in front of a 6-year-old unless it just slips out. Because, like, listen, that happens. Okay, sorry to my niece who I've definitely sworn in front of. And she's, like, way too young to be hearing me say, like, fuck. But listen, it happens. Okay, it happens. But, like, I know it's a silly example. But, like, I swear a lot. And I am not going to, like, feel bad about it. Like, again, read the room. But I don't know. Be who you are and be that well. I love it. I love it. I think it's just the cutest thing ever. And maybe I should get that as like a little tattoo. I've been really itching to get a tattoo lately, you guys. And my husband and I, we watched a movie a little while ago called And So It Goes. And God, what's her name? Diane Keaton. It has Diane Keaton in it. And it was such a cute movie. And I really liked that quote. And so it goes. Like, it is what it is. Life keeps going. And I love that. And ever since we watched that movie, I was like, ooh, should I maybe get that as a tattoo? Like, I feel like it's kind of cute. I don't know. I've just been like I have tattoos. I have 5 tattoos, but they're all like relatively small. And I don't know. I'm kind of itching for a tattoo. If you have tattoos, you get it. Like, I feel, even if you just have like small, dainty, like whatever ones, I feel like once you get the itch to get another one, you gotta just do it. And the itch has been there for like almost a year. So I feel like it's happening. Anyway, I have a session in 1 minute. So I'm gonna pause this and circle back. Okay. All right, motherfuckers, we're back. We finished our session and then I was supposed to be fully booked today, but now my 10 o'clock session just had to late cancel. Today is really falling apart for me. That's another reality of being a therapist, is like sometimes shit just hits the fan. And I swear, like, all clients like somehow just like vibe with each other and like everyone cancels at the same time. It's like a thing. I swear to God, it's a phenomenon. But anyway, so now we have a free hour, so that's cool, I guess. Don't worry, I'm not going to talk for another hour, but I will have time to get the podcast on, so that's exciting, I guess. Anyway, continuing, everyone. Another lesson I've learned, especially in working with a lot of people that have experienced trauma, just all different brands of trauma, if you will, is that humans are capable of so fucking much. Like, the resilience, you guys, is just like, it never ceases to amaze me. And I know that sounds so cheesy, but seriously, it's just like the amount of shit people can handle in life and like still make it out on the other side okay. Like, do they struggle along the way? Yes, because we're humans and it's what happens. But like, just like at a purely biological level, like the evolutionary drive to like survive, it's just so, it's remarkable. I just stuttered so much because it's so cool. Just like, I don't know, it's amazing the things that people can experience in their lifetime that is just like unfathomable, and they can still function. It's amazing. Like, I don't have words, and we all know that I have a lot of words in general, so like me not having words is saying something. And kind of in the, like, I say this all the time, in the same vein, but like in the same vein, I think it's important to remember that like nothing is that serious. And I know that sounds weird because it's like kind of opposite of what I said, but like when we experience big things in life, whether it's trauma or mainly trauma, I guess, like just like any, again, brand of trauma, like sometimes I think it's important to remember that like it puts everything in perspective. Like, okay, let's say someone very important to you dies. When that person dies, you don't fucking care about your job. You don't fucking care about grocery shopping. Like, nothing else that normally might be a stressor feels like a stressor when big things happen. And that's not to say that those other things aren't important, because like, yeah, you gotta grocery shop. Yeah, you gotta go to work. But like, I don't know. I think like experiencing these really big things makes you remember that like life is meant to be lived, you know, and not even just like if it's a death you experience, just whatever, like I don't know, I think, and I know I shared in my last episode that like I've experienced, you know, not like a crazy amount of trauma, but like, hey, I got my shit. I've got my shit. Like I said, everyone's got their shit. And I think like because I've experienced shit, it makes me remember, not always, but it makes me remember that like, okay, this is maybe not worth stressing about, like this thing that otherwise might bother me. If I can remember like, hey, I got through XYZ and I'm okay. Like the fact that I stubbed my toe isn't that, actually no, stubbing your toe is that big of a deal, and I think you should freak out when you stub your toe. I think that's the only appropriate response. But like nothing is that serious, and I don't mean that in like a condescending or demeaning or like minimizing way. It's just like having big shit happens like puts the rest of the stuff in perspective, and I think it's really important to remember that and like keep that perspective, because it again like makes you realize like how much you can get through, how capable humans are of being these resilient, amazing beings. And it's just so cool. And I know I talk about that a lot, just about like how cool it is to be a therapist, but to have like this like front row seat to like someone experiencing shit and then being able to just get through all this other stuff, it's just so like, it's inspiring. And I know that's cheesy. Everything I say is cheesy. Let's be realistic here. I'm just a cheesy bitch, which is funny because I don't really like cheese. Which is also weird because I grew up in the Midwest. Granted, I did not grow up in Wisconsin, so I feel like it's more acceptable to not like cheese that much because I didn't grow up in Wisconsin, but I did live there for like 5 or 6 years. I mean, I do like pizza cheese, like, because that doesn't even taste like cheese really. But I don't know, I don't really like cheese. But anyway, I'm a very cheesy individual, but I don't care because it's fine. I do love a charcuterie board though, and I put cheese on those, I guess. You guys, I go ham on a that was hard for me to say. I was going to say cheese and charcuterie, so I was going to say charcuterie. Whatever, you guys. The ADHD is ADHDing today. Let me see. I made a list of the lessons I've learned. Let's check the list to see. Ooh, another one that I've learned on a professional level is that talking about things does not necessarily equal processing the things. Like I know like in general, especially in like shows and movies and stuff, like, oh, let's talk about it. And then that means you're like processing it and getting over it. And like sometimes, yes, like absolutely, like talking about things can sometimes just like getting it out, like just like venting or just like bitching about it can make you feel so much better. So like this is not a blanket statement, but like talking does not always equal processing. Sometimes we need to physically get it out of our body through like somatic work, like I've talked about in a previous episode. Go listen if you haven't. Kind of nerded out there about some therapist stuff there. But yeah, kind of, I was gonna say a hot take, but not really. It's not a hot take, but like talking does not necessarily equal processing. And that was a big lesson I had to learn when I started working at this practice, because my supervisor, she does a ton of like very intense trauma work, like very, very high acuity trauma work. And she mainly does somatic work because of how effective it is. So I don't know, just kind of an interesting perspective that I learned, and I'm glad I did. And here's my not my last lesson, but the last lesson for today, because I have to pee. Kids are assholes, and they're also really, really, really cool. I will not elaborate on that because I feel like everyone understands that kids can be complete dicks, but they can also be really fucking cool at the same time. And they're very, what will I say? They're very, what's the word? Like ingenuity. Like what's the adjective for that? Like they're very, I don't know. You know what I'm trying to, let's just go with creative. Kids are very creative and very, manipulative, but also the coolest. So I don't know what the word I was trying to think of is, but kids are complete dicks, but they're also fucking awesome at the same time. I mean, everyone can be that way, but anyway, I hope everyone has a great week, because I'll post this on Monday. I hope everyone has a great week. If you live in Minnesota, stay inside because it's too sweaty for going outside. I just hate being outside in general. Take care of yourself, you guys. I know this time of year is a lot of fun during the summer, but it can also be exhausting. So take care of yourself, drink water, get enough sleep, and make sure you swear more because it's fun. Love you. Bye.